Hello, hello, everyone. This is Maria with mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome to another card making video. I forgot to close the door, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I made it. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Hi, hi, Jill. Hi, Tina. And I don't know if Adrian is still here. She is visiting her family, so I guess she's having a lot of fun. Okay, woo, guys, I'm back. It was a whole week out, and it feels weird coming back. Isn't it funny? I still have a cough. It comes and goes. Hi, Rosie. Hi. How are you? Very crazy friend. And I just hope that through the video we don't have a whole lot of issues or a lot of them. Anyway, so let's cross our fingers and hope that we are able to get this going the right way. A couple of announcements, guys. In the end, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you don't have a demonstrator or you want to buy with me, I would totally recommend do it now so you can earn some coupons and then get those or redeem those later in August. I think that, again, I always think that any sale is for me, but I am always super excited about these coupons because we as demonstrators have the ability to cover sorry guys, to we have the ability to get look into the mini catalog, and that will be next month, and so we'll be able to save that money for the mini catalog, and that always excites me very, very much. As much as I can, save. It's super cool for me. Hi, Anita. How are you? And I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Stampin' Up, guys. So if you have not looked into the online exclusives, they are very, very cool. I like most of them, to be honest. I didn't get most of them, but I will totally recommend you check them out. Hi, Carrie. Welcome. So just go to the online store, and I think you're really going to be pleased to what you have going on there. We have going on there. Sorry, guys. Okay, let me. This is getting rough. Um, Let me see what else. We have two new kits. I want to remind you about them. This is probably my favorite of the two, and this is Garden of Thanks. Um, you guys know me, right? I love purples. I love purple with green. It just looks so beautiful. And if you go back to the color wheel, I mean, you can see in the color wheel that they are. Let me look for that fresh freesia. There's fresh freesia, and it has the yellows in one side, and it has some of the greens on the other side, and then so I just, again, it's just a really beautiful color combination. Hi, Judy. How are you? So I love this one. I am still debating if I want to get it or not, but I may get it. So we may be using it later. I told you guys that I got the other one, right? Again, purple. That was Blackberry Bliss and gold. Come on, guys. I just love it. But I have not used it, so I have to like figure out how to use it. I don't know if making like some alternatives. We'll see how that rock and rolls. And then the last kit is the circus celebration. I told you the other day I am like, the circus is not my fave for whatever reason. And so I don't think I will get this one out. That said, the elephants and the lion and the monkey and the seal, like all of it, all the little images are really cute. So I would think if you like the circus and, um, have kids to give them, or somebody likes elephants very much, or somebody likes the circus very much, That is a perfect kit too. It's super, super bright and colorful, and I really, really like that. Okay, so let's go to the crafting table. I made it, guys. Um, we're gonna make, this is a little bit not centered. Let me center that a tiny bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. We're gonna make a card, guys, that is same. I always said the same thing, right? Is by no means a new card, and it's it's an interactive card. I saw it a while back from that channel. I have promoted it here because I've seen a few many, a few too many great cards in there. The one that's called the Pop Up Channel. But I actually saw, let's see, two other people's videos. Um, one was, I always forget. Let me see. 1 second, guys. One is Purple Girl Crafts. She is on YouTube. I saw her. I guess it popped up when I was looking at the pop up channel to really see how to make the card. So I like her card very much because it has an opening, and that's the card that we're going to follow today. The other card that I've seen that is similar is from Mitosu Crafts. There is a tiny bit of a difference, but all in all, very cute. Now, I love this card. I love this card for scenes, so you guys know I love my scenes very, very much. And we are going to be using today the Friendly Fins bundle. And I want to, like, I rarely ever do these, guys, but I'm going to promote this one because it's really worth it. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. Um, so the stamp set is, it's okay. It's cute, right? It has, it's a double stamping, so you have your hammer chart and then an image to fill that out. And so it has all with all the images. So it has a dolphin, a little ray, and this little fish up here. Sorry, there's a lot of glare. And then we have, you know, funny, some funny sentiments, the regular ones, but I like the Make a Splash one and My Friend and Happy Birthday. Like, in all, is very cute. Now, the die set is to die for, because it brings, of course, and we have talked about this a whole lot, but it cuts the stamp set, of course, but then it brings a lot of extra things. So it brings like the whole reef there, and then it brings some little bubbles, and it brings the lobster and fish. And so, all in all, you can totally recreate a coral reef, which is really amazing. Now, I was telling the ladies from the coloring corner on Sunday that I used to skydive. I wish I'd done that, not yet. To do scuba diving, and so like the reef and everything. That is something that I really, really like. So that's one. And well, you know, guys, I love making scenes. That's one of the reasons why I initially got into card making, was for the scenes that I had seen just with many other YouTubers. So if you like the sky, okay, I have not taken anything, I swear. If you like the like underwater and the sea and whatnot, and you have you want some, this is just a great stamp. I wanted to show you, this is how they look when you do the double stamping. I am not good at the double stamping, guys, at all. But it does work very well, especially if you, in my case, I had to use a Misty, of course. Um, and the second thing I'm going to say is, sorry, guys, I'm so really sorry. The second thing is that we are going to work, you can obviously color them. Sorry, I lost my train of thought trying to keep my coughing. I did color them. They are very easy to color, actually. And I did create some dimension in the dies because you guys kind of know me already. This is not really a complicated card. I'm going to show it to you so you guys can see. This is my template. it's really, really simple. We are going to cut the circles together. I did make a version that is 4.25 by 5.5. Um, and it just works very well. You don't have to change really anything but the circle dies that you're going to be using, which is cool. I'll show you. Remind me, guys. Remind me because my brain is still a little fuzzy. So, um, remind me at the end to talk about the 4.25 by 5.5 because it has like a little. It feels like it has a little defect, and I am not sure. Like I did not make other one to kind of like see if I could correct it. So hopefully it is that I made a mistake while putting it together, and it's not um, that there's got to be a whole lot of changes in the little piece, the little mechanism. Okay, so we're going to start with, and I have most of my stuff already cut, so really I think it's going to go a little bit fast. I always think that, and it never does. But we have a piece. This is just 5.5 by 11, and it's scored at 5.5. And so it's just the regular card base. So this is going to be our main card base. And then we are going to need several layers. So we're going to need a layer for the front, layer for these two sides, so the inside of the card. And actually, if you want, you can probably create a layer for the back as well. You bring my bone folder to crease these because there's not a whole lot of space to write a letter, a card, to write anything really in the end once you have it all figured out. Um, Unless you stamp here, which could totally be. The designs I have are not, so I'm going to have like a sentiment somewhere in the front. And you can probably try to do like a sentiment in the side here as well. Or I'm just going to say I did not think about that, and most of what I thought was kind of just working in the back. So let's get started with the mechanism. I have my mechanism already. Hey Laura, how are you? Already cut, guys. Here it is. But I am going to work on a little piece in white so we can see well what I am doing. These piece measures 3.5 by 3. And I like the way like the order I chose because I think it makes it simpler than going back and cut here and cut there. It just there's extra steps in this little mechanism, and you'll see what I mean here in a little bit. So on the 3.5 sides, or technically it's horizontal, those just a little bit of a difference, right? Let me move this in here. We are going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, sorry guys, and 1.5 inch. Okay, and now we're going to go all the way to 3 inches and we're going to score. Now we're going to turn these. It doesn't matter which side at this point, and we're going to align again at 3 and at a 1/2 inch. Let me bring a pencil or a pen here. So we have the smaller. I'm going to make little marks just like that so you can see them. So we have 3 small flaps, right, or thinner flaps, and then we have this big flap. Okay, so we are going to align at 1.5, and we're going to score between the score line here at the top and the next one. So what we're going to score is in that bigger gap, that bigger area. We're going to cut in that bigger area. So again, sorry guys, I know I'm a little confusing today. We're going to go to 1.5. Restart, sorry. We're going to go to 1/2 inch, and then we're going to cut between this first score line and the one that follows. But what we need to keep in mind is that it's that big piece, right? So we have all the smaller little areas is in that area, because you can totally make these the other way by whatever, you're not paying attention, you can do it. It doesn't matter because it has to be in that big area, okay? And so let's go back in here just because, and we're going to cut between those two score lines, and do it with, always, I always do it slowly because it's easier. And then we're going to go to 1, and we are going to score all the way. And then we're going to go to 2, and we're going to score. Don't forget that I have all those measurements in the PDF tutorial. I actually almost have it done, so you guys will be able to get it. If not today or later today, tomorrow in the morning. So you'll have all that for you, and you don't have to worry much about this. So we said we score at 1, then we score at 2. We're going to go to 2.5, and we're going to cut again in that, between those two score lines that form the bigger area. Okay, so this is what we end up with. We have these two areas that we have the cut and all the score lines. I'm going to remove this here for 1 second. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to mark, again, all these is in your PDF tutorial, but I'm going to mark where we want to cut. So we need to cut on these two flaps. We are going to remove, so we're going to not cut, we're removing these two flaps here at the end. Those leftovers in here, we're going to cut. We're going to cut in here and in here. So I'm going to hold it like that. If you don't want to go and later on have the PDF tutorial, I can hold it like this for 1 second in case you want to take a picture of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that way you don't need really the PDF tutorial, because it at least you have an idea of what you need to cut. And I am going to bring my scissors, and we're going to start cutting, taking away those pieces. Hi, Mary, welcome. Yeah, it's been warm here, but not super warm, so it's decent warm. So I'm taking all those areas that we put a X on, and you can totally do this in your regular piece, right? Because in the end, none of that's going to be seen. So even in the piece that you're going to be using, you can cut them. I'm going to cut this one. And to cut these flap, guys, just because I'm a little bit of, you know, I'm not so very good cutting. I just fold the flap and makes it so much easier. So just in case, if you're like me and struggle with, cutting little pieces, folding that flap makes a big difference for me anyways. Okay, so we have one side, and we're going to go and cut the rest of it. I'm going to do this, guys, so it make it a little bit clear. We're not cutting that one, right? I was just marking the bigger area. I don't want to confuse you. Okay, so I am going to keep cutting, and by the magic of television, we're going to get the piece as it's going to work. So this is this is the piece as it should be. So again, we cut these two areas, the ones here in the middle, the leftovers in here, or the extra half, and then these two flaps on the other edge. Very simple. I'm going to bring some glue, and I'm going to fold these. I'm going to fold one, give it a good crease, right? And I'm folding these, sorry guys, I'm folding this valley, and then I'm bringing the other one, and that one is going to have full valley as well. These two should not overlap. They should, see, let me put it up here. They are one like right next to the other, but they're not overlapping. So that's important just in case. And I'm holding this for a second so it gets all glued. And now I'm going to bring the mic trimmer. I have said this in the past, guys. I don't have a score table. I forget how it's called, scoring table. I don't have them. The only thing I have is the trimmer. So what I am going to do, of course, is I'm going to use the trimmer as my scoring table, and it works really well. You can use it with the Hi Kiwi, how are you? How are you? I was wondering where you were. You're gonna like it, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm going to do, let me bring this back up here so you can see. So after we fold these two flaps, we have a square in here. It's just formed as part of the folding and the score lines we've made. So we have this square. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right here. Okay, so that's our square. And what we're going to do now is we are going to score diagonally between between the top corner of this square and the opposite lower corner. And so let's go ahead. All I'm going to do again is I'm going to align here, guys, in my, making sure that you can see. Here's the top and there's the bottom, and then I am just going to score that. And I feel it's easier than doing it with the trimmer, just using the score line like that. And now we're going to come with the other one. So here's the top or the opposite corners, and we are going to score those. Judy, you're so funny. Okay, now the next step is something that we've actually done in the past several times, because it's the same principle for the twist and pop card, for example. And we've done this little mechanism in several forms and shapes through a lot of our interactive cards. So all we're going to need, so here's, right, I'm going to start folding. I'm going to fold diagonally, and I'm going to give it a good, hey Louise, how are you? A good crease in there. So we have one diagonally, and we're going to fold the other one. Okay, so that's the next step. And now, once we do that, it's just a lot easier to create what we need, which is we're going to push on the sides. So we have now, right, 4 squares. I'm going to put on I'm going to push on the squares that actually has these flaps. Looks like wings, right? And so I'm going to push in those, and once you push a little bit, this is going to create that. And like I said, if you remember, the twist and pop is the same mechanism, is the same idea. So I'm going to bring this in here for 1 second and give that a good, well, a sort of good rebellious crease. Okay, so this is the mechanism we're going to be using today. These should go like this, and so I'm folding this one, goes belly, and so does this one, and so I'm going to fold them both. That's that's how they go, but we're not adhering them to the mechanism. They just are going to be left open or unglued. We'll just glue it to the card base. Okay, I'm going to stop here for 1 minute and see if there are any questions. I can wait a couple of minutes, guys. Ooh, taco salads. Kiki was saying just making taco salad sounds good. I'm kind of envious now. Okay. I'm going to keep going. If you have questions, guys, let me know. Put a Q or something there so I can come back. But remember, that's why we did it in here. And it's very easy once you do a template. So this is what I did. So here's my template. I know this looks confusing because it has the measurements. But once I turn this around, then I know exactly where I need to cut. And now I can keep these forever. As long as I don't lose it, and I can just recreate this little mechanism at any point in time. Okay, I'm going to put the mechanism there in the back for 1 minute. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our card base. And we're going to start adding our layers. We're going to start with the front layer now. Let me tell you. So again, we're doing this underwater scene, and these are the sea panels, and I use for this one our inks and blending brushes. And let me tell you exactly which ones I use, because I have them somewhere in here so I can show you. So let me see. So the combination I'm using, and I want to put it here for you guys so you know, is Balmy Blue on the top. A Sure Afternoon is the next one. Blueberry Blueberry Bushel is the third one, and the fourth one is Misty Moonlight. Okay, and then once that was done, and I had like achieved, a good blending look, I brought Summer Splash, and I just went with the Summer Splash all over. That way it was just a little bit easier that way to achieve that feel of the sea that has, greens and blues without using any greenish blue in the main color combination. Now this is this one, right? So I did play a lot with this, right? So I want to show you so you guys can see if you want to choose something different, right? So this one is Pool Party Balmy Blue, Summer Splash, and Blueberry Bushel. And you can see this is was the first one I did. I'm just trying to give you ideas of how to go with your blending and create different sets or different colors. Like I did not like this. I wanted the Summer Splash because it gives that greenish look, but I didn't want it as part of the color combination of the main blending combination, because it separates. Hi Kathy, how are you? I think it just separates. Do you see what I'm saying? Like blue, green, like it does not make sense, right? So this one, the first one I did, and then I did this one, and this one has Balmy and Pool Party, the Summer Splash, Assure, and Blueberry. And this one is a little bit better, but I was still not very pleased because this does not use the Summer Splash all over. So you can see in this area, it still has a lot of blue. The rest is pretty greenish, but this one was not blue. And then the last one I did, which by the way, I really like it. And it was using that idea. So was the first one I did. It's got the Pool Party Assure, Pretty Peacock, and Blueberry. But I did like with the Pretty Peacock very light in the brush. I went around all of it. And this was the last one I did, and I think this is the one I like the most. So I just wanted to tell you color combinations, things you can play with. If you like blending brushes and creating, it can be so many things, but in this case, the sea, that's how we achieved this look. Finally, after that was done, I'm just brought some water, like in our sprayer. Stampin' Up has these sprayers, and this one is actually full with alcohol, so and then I have this one just because, right, it's an old one. I'm not going to change much, and just spray with water. Since our inks are water, they react to water, so you are able to create some of those little stains, kind of. I don't know how to call them, but they look like bubbles. And I splashed a little bit of white. It's hard to see because the white gets a little bit kind of sucked into the colors, right, into the blue colors. I use this Winsor Newton really mainly because I bought it. It's called, okay guys, I have no clue, gouache. I don't know how you pronounce that. But I bought this a while ago. I wanted to try it with reds because reds is the one that really it not only kind of sucks the white, but actually turns a little pinkish, right? And it was not very successful. I think, I don't know if you remember that. but in here it stays white. And again, I really like that feel of like the bubbles in, in underwater. So I made 3 of them following the same concept. Of course, none of them are exactly the same, but they are fairly similar. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, after all that explanation, I hope that you got something out of that. I'm going to go ahead and add our first layer. This is going to be our layer in the front. And I'm adding the mat in white. This is 5.5. So no, 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 in the next layer. So our blue layer is 5 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and I'm gonna bring now my card base, and we are going to add it. I do like, so you guys are gonna laugh, I like blue for many things, but I don't work a whole lot with blue for card bases. And I have to tell you guys, I bought some blueberry bushel when it came out last year, and this is the first time I think that I actually made a card with blueberry bushel. So I guess I like it mostly. I mean, I really like it, but I don't love it. The next thing I want to tell you is that if you have, you guys remember the holographic paper that we had with the Out of This World suite um last year. I think if that will look super cool in here too, like in the layer. I'm not using it because it's no longer available, but I think if you have it and you want to make something similar to this card, that's a great idea. So technically, be mindful, right? Because technically speaking, this would be the bottom of the card. As you know, the higher you go or the closer to the top of the sea, you get, the lighter it is. So technically, this is the bottom of the sea, and technically, that's towards this the top of the sea. So just putting out there, but be mindful when you're going to adhere these, because you don't want them to be backwards, of course. Now we're going to do something that we've done in the past, and it's doing some die cutting. I'm moving all my little pieces in here. I am using the decal circles, guys, and I have decided that I am just going to number them because it's hard to see which one is which. So from the biggest to the smallest, this is number 6, and I think it's 3. Well, of course, I'm in centimeters. Why not? It's so funny. Oh, I don't know that one. So Kiwi's saying that for the white splash spots, we can try Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed proof white ink. Wow. Um, I have not tried that one. So if you find the link to it, Kiwi, just put it there in the chat box for everybody. I think this one is about 4 inches big. And then this one, that's the next one. I want to say this is 3 1/4, 3 1/8. And then this is the smallest, and this one is 2 1/8, it looks like. So all I'm going to say is, again, from the biggest to the smallest, this is number 6, this is number 8, whoops, and the one that follows is number 11. Okay, I actually have numbered them, so it's just much easier for me to reference in the videos. If you have the decal circles, I will totally recommend that you number them. It's just easier. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to bring our big circle. Remind me to give you the measurements of the circles when we are looking at the smaller version card. You can make this also smaller. I am choosing this one just because I like the idea, and our the chart that's going to go here in the middle is actually bigger, so it kind of makes sense, right? So all I'm doing, guys, right now is I am centering this as best as I can, bringing a piece of post-it tape, and I'm looking remember, guys, that if you're not sure, it's better to move it a little higher or so to the top, because it kind of tricks the eye. If you put it here, it's much more noticeable that it's off, I guess. I heard that a long time ago, and I've told you that, but I would like to remind you in case you've never heard it and you're kind of not sure, then you can't totally do that. Put it a little higher up as a prevention preemptively, right? And I'm bringing two pieces, so it holds it. You can use whatever you want. Of course, there's that, what's the name? That mint tape from scrapbook.com. I got this for whatever. But yes, thank you, Louise. I just threw away. So this is the card. I know it's harder to see, but because it's all blue, but. And now I'm going to bring, if I make it, there it is, the smallest of the, sorry guys, the smallest of the circles, and we're going to center it here within our circle. Now, you don't have to do this at the same time. The truth is, you can cut one and then, do these as an extra step. I am doing just one step so I can, so we save some time. But there you go. But again, you just don't need it to do it at the same time. I think that sometimes it's just harder to get that middle when you have like both of the dies, but that's me, right? So just in case. So let me put that out of the way 1 minute, and I'm going to bring my big Mamba Jamba here. Again, you guys can see a lot of love is received. This die cut machine does get a lot of love. Okay, I'm going to put this in here. My stuff is sandwiched together, and I'm going to go for it. And this is a little on the heavy side, so it's a good, there we go, a good workout for your arms. And I'm going to go a couple of times because in the end, it's white. It's not designer series paper. The designer series paper is a tiny bit thinner than a regular white cardstock. So we have two types of white cardstocks in here, right? So it's a little bit thicker. So it takes nothing to run it a couple times. And instead of being like, oh, it didn't cut, right? So, okay, there we go. So let me move this out of the way for 1 minute. I'm going to bring this back up. And we are going to remove our little Post-it tapes. Be mindful, because in the end, again, there's a lot of pressure that goes in here. And so you don't want to tear the paper, especially in a card like this one, because I would have to work on the panel again. Now, before I move any further, I'm actually going to make sure, as it's still attached, right? I'm actually making sure that it cut, and you guys can see it didn't cut in here. So I'm going to go back with this and bring my Stampin' Up, sorry guys, embossing machine, and go ahead and cut it again. And so let's go ahead. This is moving a little bit because I took off that one, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece again. Just run it through again is what I'm trying to say. So moving this a little bit here. Let me see. There we go. So it cuts all the way. There you go. Wow. Now it's very rebellious. I'm not sure why. And because I put this wrong. That's why. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and remove these and check it again. And I am doing these also so to remind you, especially if you've not done these in the past, just always check that what you're cutting actually went through, right? All the way. Otherwise, you're stuck. So I'm going to bring again my take your pick. And I'm doing this first of all because my nails are a disaster, which is nothing new, but also kind of to make it easier for me to remove those little pieces of Post-it. And there's one here. You guys can see. There we go. Whoops. Okay. I'm not sure what that is, but it's kind of like glittery. I don't know what that is. That's so funny. And then here we go. Okay, now I do want to bring these up, right? I am using the decal circles because I wanted a bigger circle, and I think maybe I'm mistaken, but from the at least from the circles I have, this is the decal circles is the ones that have bigger circles, obviously, right? And so if you are using a pattern paper, you don't have to worry much about what I'm going to say, but if you're using a regular paper, you may. And that is, well, the decal circles have what? They have those little lines, right? All those wiggly lines. And so it's important to kind of I'm bringing back one of these and just keep it there. So, um, sorry, I got distracted there for a second. So when you're putting it back together, it kind of still goes in the same area, right? The second thing is if you're using circles that have a smooth edge, then you don't have to even worry about it. Kiwi is asking about the Post-it tape, and it's just a Post-it tape. It's just a regular one, and this one is 1/3 of an inch thin. Um, I was not super pleased with it, and I got, of course, they sell like 5 packs, right? And so I got like 5 of them. But I'm going to use them. But I was not super pleased with them. It seemed like it was not working super well. It may have been just me. And now I'm going to go and remove the other one. So the other piece in here. Okay. Something's going. Okay, I can see, guys. This is all crazy. Okay. So at least we have that one there, and hopefully we'll be able to realign these mostly. I guess if you're going to use the decal circles, then also before removing the stuff, put another piece of tape on the back so it doesn't, this doesn't happen. I think I got it. Okay. So I got these, and I'm just going to hold them together in that position for later. Now I'm going to go, I do have to remove this one, I forgot. In this case, it's not a big deal. So here's why, because of course, although this is not exactly pattern paper, I know where more or less the darker area is going to go and the lighter area is going to go. So if you have pattern paper, it's going to make it easier. You'll see it, especially with the other card I made that is using pattern paper, and it's super easy to align it, right? But just in case. Okay, now we're going to go with the second area, and we are going to put another layer in here, and we'll have to cut it again. And I know, I'm sorry, there's a lot of cutting in here, but I just want to say, why am I not going, like running through all the layers together? Mainly, this is because I've tried to do that in the past, guys. And I don't know if you've had the same experience as I have, but my experience is that when you do the going through the embossing machine, the cut embossing machine, like the paper really suffers, right? It gets really, how you call it? I'm not sure what the word is. It gets really sandwiched in. And so I have to say that I like it better when I am able to do this way, separate. So the paper does not look even damaged. I have had times when I try to do that, and I'm going to show you here because you can totally, I can see it. Like it gets even a little wrinkled, right? So if you're going to run it through with many layers, it's just going to get more damage and more damage. And I didn't want to, obviously, I didn't want to damage my front area or my back area for that matter. So let's go ahead and add these again. So Kiwi's asking if using the regular circles will be easier. Uh, and I'm assuming, and Kiwi, you can tell me if I'm wrong. What you're asking if using circles with smooth edges will be better. If that is your question, the answer is yes, because you have to think less about that piece. Again, those are the ones I have right now, so that's it. Thank you, Judy. It's compressed. Yes, that is the word. So this is what I did, guys. I know this is kind of like, it seems like a lot of work, and it probably is, but I just want to say something. Like, we just like crafting, so a little extra work to me, it means nothing really. It's just fine. So it's just fine. I love crafting. So a little bit extra detail does not mean a big deal to me. So all I'm doing right now, guys, is centering my piece. This is the piece that's going to go in here. Okay, let's start with that. But I'm centering it here, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to close my piece, and I'm going to bring my big circle again. I'm sort of aligning, not really. All I want is for it to be kind of in the same place, right? It's not going to be perfectly aligned because I'm not going to take the time to do that. But there you go. Like, it sort of fits in, right? Like, it sort of fits in. So what I'm going to do now, guys, and I'm going to bring my pencil, and I'm going to go really softly around the edge, and I'll explain why I'm doing this with the die and not with, sorry guys, I'm putting a little bit more pressure there because I can barely see what I did. And not just put this in here, and this is why. Because let me turn this back. Because if I align it there, then I will have the exact alignment. It is very hard. So usually what I did is I would go like this and, follow the circle without the die. But then, hold and behold, you come and put this, and it's very hard to put it there exactly where it is, because you have the inner edge, right? And so it's just harder to see if you're really putting it where it should go. So my thought process is, if I do that, then it'll be easier for me. I know you can barely see, there's the line, but it'll be easier for me to just align this with that line. So I'm actually aligning the inner part of the die with the what we just traced, and it's so much easier. But because I'm this little bit of OCD, I'm holding these with another one of those pieces, right? I'm making sure this is sort of aligned with that inner circle and whatnot. I'm holding these kind of like that, and I'm closing. And now, do you guys see this? Okay, wait. I'm making sure that this is centered still. So I'm closing, and you still see that? There is some areas that is not centered. So I am making an extra effort so it looks as centered as possible. And there is way less little, especially because this is not smooth, right? Just little tips, little thingies looking around. So I am hoping this is going to work well. I'm pushing that well so it doesn't move. Pushing that well, it doesn't move. And bringing another piece, putting it back in here, and that way it doesn't move. And that exactly, Kiwi saying, Maria, OCD. And that will keep us, I am hoping, close enough for the circle to be on more or less the same place. I am not hoping or, thinking, oh, this thing has to be perfect. Not by any means. The more I craft, the more I figure that I do this for pleasure, and being super OCD is not going to help with that. But it's good to have some, some areas where you can like help the card look better. I'm going to go ahead and run these through, and hopefully we made it. And you guessed it, I'm going to run it a couple more times because it takes nothing. And I'm going to hurry up because we're 50 minutes in. And I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so it did cut it all. And we're going to now remove these two pieces. And there we go. I'm doing very slowly, guys, because I just really don't want this to break or to damage my pattern. I'm going to put that there, making sure all my circles are saved. The last thing I'm going to do, and this moved a tiny, tiny bit, but it is fine, is I'm going to go ahead and glue this all together. Okay, I'm gluing it. And I'm going to bring the middle circle, and I'm going to put it here inside. So that's what I was saying, that it's really not important if these are aligned because we're going to have other little pokey thingies. I don't even know how to call them. And I'm just centering these as best as I can, because that way I don't even have to worry about that trace that we made. And I'm going to cut it in here, guys. So I'm just going to die cut it real quick. You guys heard that crack? That's a little scary right there. Okay, I'm holding these together now because supposedly it has glue, but I just want to make sure that it's still glued and it's not going to like give up on me. Okay, so these you can totally use for something else at another point in time. I'm just saying. So we have, this is a middle circle, which we took from that panel that we cut. We have a smaller circle here that it would have been amazing if I paid attention of where it was. But it looks like I didn't. And so because of that, I'm going to bring the blue one, because you are not able to see as much of the difference of colors, of course. And so trying to see if I managed by some miracle to do this. It's just super hard, guys. Okay, since I said that we needed to rush, I think I got it. Ah, bingo. Decals, that makes sense. Damn. Thank you. Thank you, Louise. That's so true. Decals is how it's called, little pointy thingies. And Judy is saying perfection is highly overrated. I completely agree. I think that, and that's true. And that's what I was saying, right? Like the whole goal of making a card, of doing this, is, in my case anyways, is for my enjoyment, is because I like this and I like to give them away. And so that is the whole goal. So we have 3 circles, right? We have these 2 that are complete or whole, and then we have these other one, these 2 in here, this bigger one. And I was sure I had it, but of course I don't. I think that one is, nope. Sometimes, guys, okay, I think I got it there. Nope. Oh well. Sometimes it's so hard, guys. It's just crazy how hard it can be to align these. Okay, I got it. And I am keeping here, guys, the 3. Actually, you don't need the 3, but I am keeping the 3 of them. To me, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm going to take the white one. There we go. Because this one is in the end pretty thick, right? So our regular cardstock is a good width, or a good cardstock. And so I'm just going to make sure. Now, in hindsight, I should say this. It's Usually I put the glue all around like the edge and not in the middle. In hindsight, just put enough glue in the middle so that you don't have to worry about this when you're working with the decal circles. If you're again working with a regular circle or smooth edge circle, you'll be fine. Okay, so we have these three circles. I'm going to put those away for 1 minute. We're going to bring the card base and we're going to align these, and hopefully these works good enough. It looks like it's okay-ish. Okay, let's see. Huh, that looks good. I'm very, very happy with that. So let's go ahead and add some glue and just added these. Remember, these needs to be, the light needs to be on the top, and I'm just making sure I'm actually gluing these in the right spot. Of course, I'm using the edges as a guide and the circle as well. Now here's the tricky thing. If you're seeing, like I'm seeing a little bit extra here, I'm just making sure that it's still, try to get there, but make sure that it's still well centered. And then I have a little bit of a white in here. Hi, Renee. How are you? Um, and my thought process for this is I am not going to like, there you go. I'm trying to push it, but I rather keep these centered than these in here. We can try to work with some of the images I have to cover it. All these is so much more difficult because I'm using the decal circles. So like Kiwi said earlier, if you do this with a regular smooth cardstock, is going to be easier. Okay, I'm going to bring the last layer. This layer, whoa, that took me a minute. This layer is the one that goes there in the other side, and I just threw my decal circle. Um, I would say, guys, again, make sure that it's okay. It's well kind of centered in the layer. Oh, Judy, she's so funny. She's saying Maria took a layer. You know why? Because nobody's seeing that layer, Miss Judy. Let's face it. That's the reasoning behind. Okay, so I'm still a little bit upset that this did not work as I wanted, but if I push this a little bit higher, let me show you, I will probably lose my edge here, and I don't want that. The truth is, and I'm going to go and pick up my decal circle, guys, because I don't want it to get lost. The truth is, it works because that's how I did the other card, and it worked really well. I'm guessing here because I am live, it of course has to have all these issues. Okay, now that we have these layers all in, we're going to bring back our mechanism, and so we're going to have the part that does not have, this diagonal area. This part, so this flap is going to go here in the middle. We've said this tons and tons of times, right? Like we're going to center these as best as we can. Since this is 5.5, we're talking about there should be like, I don't know, 2 and 3, 2.5 and 2.5, kind of in between here if you want to be pretty exact. But I'm just going to eyeball it, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm making sure that it is not all the way to that middle score in the main card base, right? It has to be a little bit towards the right in this case. Otherwise, it's going to make it very, very hard for that to glue. And I'm making sure it's kind of okay. I'm bringing glue, guys. I know I should have brought my tear and tape, but I'm putting a lot of glue. And I'm just going to close this, guys. And we're going to keep that there for a minute. That's really bugging me. I know you know, but it's really, really bugging me. Um, we'll have to figure out. I'll have to figure out how to cover it. Yes. So Louise is saying something that's what I was thinking is just bring a little bit of ink with a sponge and go with it. Just cover it, and let's see if we can try that. Let's work our way. And I'm just bringing a white one because I don't want to have to waste time. And we had said, remember, see, that's why it's important to see what you were using for the card. We had said this was balmy blue in Assure Afternoon. So I'm going to bring the Assure Afternoon, which, by the way, I have to tell you guys, I don't know if this is because I have not really used these inks. Um, so I'm getting just a little bit, guys. And I'm going to go, see, it just looks very different, right? Um, and actually, since I'm doing this, I'm going to sponge all the circle. So, we kind of create that continuity, kind of, we meant to do this, right? We've done this in the past. We meant to do this circle a little on the blue side. So it's covering it. You see? And it looks a little better, I think. Um, but yes, I'm going to go with my sponge all the way around the circle so we create that sense of, I'm forgetting the word now. It's not continuity, but um, balance. So thank you for that suggestion. I was thinking about it, but I was not putting it out there because I was like, what if it doesn't work? But I think it works better than just the white. And so, right? What do you guys think? And so this is how we solve our problems. Ha ha. In the craft world, we either add some gems or we add some extra ink, maybe another cutout of sorts. So there's always ways. And that looks fairly okay. Let me bring it up close. Okay. So let me move that out of the way. And now we're working with this. Now, here's where it gets important to bring our little circle. And I'm going to, again, this is a little bit easier because in here, you can sort of see where the colors are, and that makes it so much easier. It really does not affect it. I have to be honest with you. I don't think it really affects it, but just in case you suffer from the same OCD issues I do, that's what it is. I'm going to bring in another piece because I somehow just lost the other ones. Oh no, I see one here. Just kidding. Oh. I'm going to bring a couple pieces, I guess, of the Post-it tape so it holds the circle together for a minute. Well, I make sure that everything in here is looking okay. And I'm going to bring this circle a little bit in the inside. Still hold it in here, right? And I'm going to, so I put that one, the whole piece on the front of the card. And now we're going to fold these two little legs or these little flaps inside. So let me show you from the front. We have that there. And in the back, well, it did happen. It did move. I guess you need something more dramatic than just Post-it tape. Fine. Okay, stuck in there. So I'm going to move this. So in the back, we have now, there we go. In the back, we have now these that went through the circle, and we have this little piece in here. So our next step, and I'm holding this in place as well as I can, is we need to glue these flaps. So this would be, if you're seeing it like me, so if you're working like that, which is how I most likely would have worked. This is the left side, so we can call them legs, we can call them however we want, but this is the side we're going to glue. And so what we're going to do, guys, you remember that form, this little triangle we had pushed earlier, right? And we had made this. So what we need is to add glue on this area. I love it. Oh my God, Louise, you just made my day. She's so funny. She's saying that she worked on a couple of cars today and performed several surgeries. That is so funny. That is brilliant. Okay, so I'm putting my glue back in here, just on the arm. So look at that, just right there. And I'm making sure this is all aligned, all well put, and I'm going to hold this for 1 second, well, maybe more, a couple seconds, so it gets all glued, really adhere, I guess. We are going to need, and I forgot to mention that earlier, and I am so sorry about that. And I'm bringing my little stuff because I think I had one, maybe. It doesn't seem like I have it. Anyways, so from the cuts, and this is, so remember that we had cut, here I have the piece, this is good. Remember that we are going to cut this one, right? So we're going to have this piece left over. You can use one of these pieces. Just because I wanted it to be a little bit more something, and I'm not sure what the something is. I had a piece, I can't find it. You need a piece of, it can be cardstock, it can be whatever, but it needs to be 1/2 inch by 1.5. Okay, I am using this acetate. To be fully honest, guys, you can't see it. I don't know why I'm using acetate. I just feel that it's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit more malleable, but it lasts better, so it will be better long term. I don't know, but bottom line, it is the leftover piece from one of the sides, whichever side. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna add here these just like that. Guys, do I need to be a little closer? I feel like it's too far away. Let me know if we want a little bit closer. This is my acetate. I know it's hard to see, and what we're going to do is we're going to add this piece of acetate right here in this leftover. Yeah, I'm going to get closer a tiny bit. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so we have a little square in here, and that in that square, so not including these, is where we're going to add our piece of acetate or cardstock. And all we're going to do is we're going to add glue in here, and we're going to bring the acetate, and I'm just doing that so it doesn't like splurge all over. And now I'm bringing these, so I'm aligning, and I'll show you here in a minute. Well, that glues. So it is aligned with the leg itself, right? Can you see it there? So it is aligned with the leg itself on the bottom and on the corner. So bottom line, it goes exactly on that little square. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense. This moved. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but this got glued exactly where it shouldn't have, and I'm just going to open it for a minute, unglue it, and I'll show you. Let me show you how I know. So this probably moved. You see, so when I close this, this is not aligned right there. So I am going to open this a tiny bit. It's not ideal, I know that, don't worry. But I think that I'm not sure it's going to work well if I don't do this. So I am just performing surgery number 2. Thank you, Luis. That's a really, really good, fun way to say it. Okay, so going back in here, that is aligned there. It moved since I'm moving. So these two need to be aligning here. So they need to be one against the other, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And they tend to move a little bit, of course, but these needs to be straight with this edge. So here's the edge of that triangular part. So it needs to be aligned with that. Does that make sense, guys? So that was my mistake. I probably was not paying attention, which what else is new. And I'm going to put some glue again. And I'm going to hold these, but make sure that it is where it needs to be. And none of these will be seen. So all this surgery will be, I love that. Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. All these we're doing will not be noticeable. So take your time to do this. There's not a problem now because this is all cardstock, and the cardstock kind of fell apart a little bit on me. I'm just gluing it all together, and that is working. I'm going to give this 2 seconds to glue. So remember, the acetate needs to be aligned with that little, I'm going to move that there, with that little square that we have. So on the bottom and on the side, it needs to be aligned. And these two need to be together. And this side needs to be inside the piece, this piece. I'm going to stop for 1 second and ask, and just, guys, do you have any questions? I just want to make sure that there's no questions because I changed that in. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody. Please let me know. Do we have questions? I know I am a little bit, there's some delay. So, okay. So, bottom line, let me put this back up here, closer. So, you see, these ones are aligned together. That's how this should look. Thank you, Kiwi. This is how this should look. So, the acetate needs to be aligned on the bottom and on the side with this leg, and this leg needs to be aligned with this piece. So let me know if you guys have questions. You're so funny, Kiwi. Just in case. Okay. So the next step is, remember the little corner, not little corner, that little circle we have. We're going to glue this one in here. So I am going to, though, go back in here a tiny bit. So this is where the card is going to really open. And so I'm making sure that whatever I'm seeing lighter on this piece, because in the end, this piece was in the middle, right? So this is not super light compared to this area. But I'm making sure that the area that's lighter is going to go on top. And now we're going to bring our little circle right here, right next to the acetate. Yeah, you can see better. So I have my circle here. It's not going over here, right? So it's covered there. So it's going here. So right there is the leg. I'm going to call them legs, guys. Sorry. So right there is the leg. I can feel it. It won't go any further down. And I'm just making sure that it is in the right place. And it is the lightest. Nope, there is the lightest. So there we go. Right there. I'm making sure it's not there in the way. It's not in the way anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's above here because this is while the card is open. And while I have that there, I'm just going to bring a little piece of, not a little piece, some glue. And that obviously extended. I put a lot of glue. You guys know that's my problem, right? And I'm going to leave that to close for a second. But that should have our mechanism. Letting that stay in peace. Okay. Now, these needs to be attached in here, and it's just this tiny flap. Okay. I'm just leaving that to like take a breather so it glues. In the meantime, let me show you the rest of the stuff I have here. Well, that gets all glued up. Not these. I just have it there because I'm not being able to do anything with it. So these are all the pieces that I am using today. So this is, let me show you up close. This is the wreath. And I used actually Pretty in Pink. Not Pretty in Pink, Petal Pink, sorry, as the back. And I just colored, this was colored with blends. And I just actually went to look for a piece of, coral reef, kind of to see what colors to use. But it's mainly Calypso coral, some reds. This was the Summer Splash. And just so it looks, has some dimension to it. You can absolutely just die cut it in one color and let it be, right? This is me. So, and then I cut several of the, that's not the same, but like this green algae. I have a few of them. And I did all of the pieces I did went with a little bit of blend to give them some dimension, some color. And then it has these that are also, there's another one. So these are the same, and these all are petal pink. These are yellow, but most of them are petal. Yeah, petal pink. And this is color with some calypso coral and some red, and this is just yellows. And making sure that seems to be dry. Then we have the lobster, which I absolutely love. So cute, the little lobster. And again, all I did was using the blends to color these and create. It's just, there is nothing hard working here, right? It's just like whatever I put, a little bit of dark, a little bit of light, um, and it's just so it's not flat, right? Um, just to be honest, it's just flat. I did not do, but I do want to tell you guys how many little pieces and how awesome it is that you can totally build your coral reef, right? So these are all the pieces I made, and there they are. And now so these are the bigger pieces. So this is going to be like the start of our show, which is going to be in the front. And this is color with blends and some on the top, some pencils. I did not use only very cute lobster. Um, not used only our pencils because we don't have a lot of grays. But yeah, that's kind of how this is looking. My favorite by far is the Ray. I absolutely love this kiddo. It's so cute. The way it turned out, right? It was really well colored. And then I have two dolphins because I love dolphins, and so these are much simpler to color because there's not a lot of areas extra to color, so just simpler. And then I have a few of these little fish. Um, nothing extra. They're small images. But anyways, that's what we're going to be building our card, and this is taking like forever and a day. I'm so very sorry. Okay, so I am going back here, making sure this is well aligned. Whoops. And I'm bringing my glue. And all I'm doing, and I'm just putting a lot of glue in, I know that, but I just want to make sure that it's going to be sticky. You can totally use tear and tape, and I don't know why I'm not using tear and tape. And all I'm going to do is close this. Okay, so that's it. And then it wait longer. Ah, that is so funny. Judy is saying that she liked that lobster on a plate with some butter on the side. That sounds really good. I think that maybe that's why I'd like to some time to color them. It's like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that a couple more minutes. The last thing I did, guys, because this is me. So you remember that die that has like the bubbles? So what I did is I cut some acetate with them, and we're going to use this as bubbles. So hopefully that's a good idea. We'll see how that rolls. Okay, still needs a few more seconds. I'm removing all this. In the meantime, let me bring, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to bring one of those pieces that I colored before, and because I need another piece. We need a piece of, I'm looking where to cut, of, there you go, of 7/8 by 1 3/8, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Okay, so 1 3/8 is right there. So what happens is next is here we go. what happens is we need a piece that goes in here. So it can be a little less, a little smaller. Let me see. Maybe let's cut 1 1/4. And all I'm doing here, guys, is really looking for something to cover, because what's going to happen, and here we go. This one is going to cover there, right there. Because what happens is this last circle that we have is going to go in here, but I just don't want this to just be blue like that. You guys know me. That would just not be cool. So I am just going to add these tiny, tiny piece in here. So it kind of like keeps the theme, right? And you just don't have that blue portion there. And now I'm going to glue our piece, and I'm just going to add glue here on that triangle and all the way there, just making sure I don't put extra glue in there. Okay. And so again, kind of what we did with the other one. Here's the lighter part. So I'm just going to align, center this, and glue it in there. And we're going to give that a couple more minutes so it gets dry. And we're going to bring our friends. So I saw Kiwi, I think it was you who asked if it's going to pop. It's not going to pop. Okay, it's still not dry. Okay, more pressure, guys, more pressure. We need for it to dry. So let's keep working on here. Sorry. Okay, so it will not pop out. It should not pop out. In all the other examples, and even in this one, you see here, it does not pop out. So it's going to be okay. But because I am me and I like certain things, I was thinking it should be super cute to bring one of those wobblers thingies, maybe here in the middle. And so this is popped up. So the little shark is popped up. So I'm going to start with the shark because we're going to build the scene around the shark. And we have to be mindful of that. Otherwise, we're going to like step all over. And of course, I'm trying to fight this and open this with my nails, which is totally dummish. That's why we have to take your pick. These wobblers that I have, they are very good, but they do have the problem of taking away the backing. Is like a whole ordeal. You don't need wobblers, guys. I'm just thinking it's going to look cute with the wobbly shark, right? So I'm going to bring this one here, and I'm just looking for the middle so it kind of gets balanced in there. And now we're going to take the other one, the other side. And that hurt. Okay, there we go. I managed. Oh yes, Joan, I'm sorry. I know. It's taking very, very long. I'm so very sorry. But you have the basic of the card, which is the important stuff. And now you'll have this wobbly shark, and I just love it. And so let's go with, I don't know why this is not glued well. Okay, there we go. Now it is. Now it's working. And that's the mechanism. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to bring the coral reef thingy. We're going to put it in here because, again, this is going to open, so we can put a lot of things around here to decorate this. And I'm going to bring some glue just on the bottom of the reef. Okay. And I'm going to do the corner. Definitely the corner right there. And then you guys remember all these friends in here. So I'm bringing some yellow ones because I really like those, like the pop-up of the yellow. I'm going to bring my, take your pick, guys. Hopefully this opens up. It still has the glue wet, but now I can bring this yellow and pop it in there. And that's one of the things, the super cool things about these die, and is that all those areas had holes. And so it just works really, really well. And now, oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Oh, Kiwi, you're so funny. Kiwi saying she bought some of those and lost them. I'm right there with you though. So I'm gonna bring one of the lobsters here, not there because there's too much red. So I'm gonna bring the lobster in there, and I'm just going to put her inside there like she is there, coming off the reef. But then we have one of those other, how you call this, like little sand areas, and I'm gonna bring a little bit of, not a little bit, I'm gonna bring, where is it? These are too big. Okay, I'm gonna bring my friends because these are easy to measure and to work with, and so this is what we're going to be using today. That, so we pop these a little bit and we create again some dimension in here. These are obviously too big for that corner, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to move these a little bit here, and then we'll cut on the edge, and then we'll actually put this in here right next to that, so all of it's you are so funny, Judy. Judy, you're getting me hungry. And so I'm bringing this one in here, and I am adding everything inside the white. I mean, yes, I guess in that colored panel and leaving the white. Okay, so I'm gluing my friend there. We have a lot to play with, but we need at least 4 elements for the rotating circles. So one of them is going to be, in my case, is going to be the lobster. If I can't use that one, I'll probably use one of those, because the dolphins I think will be too big. Although I don't know, maybe let's see. Maybe I'll put the dolphin in here or in here like that. We'll work on that. But we need at least 3 elements, guys, or 3 or 4 elements that are going to be rotating with our shark. And I'm going to bring up, all we're doing now is playing with color, guys. So because we made that huge mistake in here, I'm just going to bring my cute friends there and add them in there, and I like the pop of colors that this brings. And so I have these green ones in here. Where is my, take your pick, right there. And so you guys see, like, there's another hole in here right there, maybe. There it is. So there's one in here. I'm too low. There's one in here, one in there. There's a hole everywhere, so you can really pop everything. Because in the end, that's how reefs, coral reefs are, right? Things are kind of inside. And so I am doing this as fast as I can. I'm so sorry it's so late, guys. And that's why I try to do things ahead of time. But I just wanted to show you how I did some of that stuff. And so we have one there, and now I'm going to bring one of those really tiny yellow ones of the fish, and I'm going to get them inside there. We have 2. We have a few of them, actually. And I'm folding that a little hard, but that way. Okay, now I'm holding this. That is a really good idea. So Luis is saying maybe add a strip of acetate for the dolphin. The main thing is where, like, I think, like, for example, that he could go there. The main thing is, okay, I'm bringing just, oh, I have the post-it tape. What am I thinking? So the main thing is where you put it in here and what's going to happen when it closes, right? And so we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. So that's a really good idea, but it's going to be right there. Now, you can totally maybe put it more like there, and we'll see if that works. That did not work because it's glued to the wrong place. Okay, more or less like there. So that is not too bad. So we, again, this is a lot of plain. The other place you can put it is somewhere around here, but all the time, no matter what, you'll need to figure out where this is going to end, right? So for example, if I put it here and I'm going to attach it like that, it's going to go back in here, and so I have to put it a little bit on the inside. So anyways, you can decorate this as a lot, as much as you can. I think I'm going to bring my very beautiful ray in there, and I really really like this ray, guys. And like I said, this can be all the way there, and I'm just kind of cover some of that craziness that happened there, and so I'm just going to cover that with the ray. So I'm putting some glue on the back of it. So we can play all around the big circle because nothing is going to be in the place in where this is at. And the last thing, I'm just going to bring one of these. Let me see, guys, sorry. I'm bringing the other green, the other yellow one, and I'm going to put it right there. Like that. And then we have one of the other fish, and I'm just going to put it somewhere in here. So super super colorful, guys, and really really cute. I think so again, I rarely ever make the videos to promote a specific thing. Like I always say, you can use whatever you have, right? But I think that in this case, guys, if you like the sea, you need these. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. I think I want my dolphin there. I'm just going to see how much deeper I need it. Whoops, that fell. That did not work, huh? Okay, there. We need it right there. Okay, I'm going to bring some glue and just put a little bit of glue there, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave as much as possible of the dolphin out. And before I press too long, I'm making sure it's still inside. Okay, so we have our dolphin. Of course, guys, I think that what I want here is the fish. So I have one of those. Whoops. And then I'm going to bring the other. Oh, no, these are the ones I want. Let's see. Yeah, I want this. Because they really fit well in there, right? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make sure, see, that one is popping up. So we know we need to make this a little bit lower. And there it is, a little bit lower. And that's it. No, see, like I did make a mistake, guys. This should have gone a little lower. It probably moved when I was doing it. It's okay. I'm not in, you know, it's not crazy or anything. And the last one I'm going to bring, guys, it's probably the lobster. And I want the lobster up here. And I'm going to, same as we've been doing, I'm just bringing the post-it tape here and put her there, and see where it ends, that it's closed and it's closed. And so that's where our lobster, making sure that, okay, yeah. Okay, so so just in case I was not clear about that, and I was not just in case, is all we're doing is gluing on the inside. Renee, because when I put it here and it closes, then it pops up on the top of the card. So Renee is asking why not putting the dolphin. And since I have another dolphin, I can show you. So it would have to go like very low there because the circle goes back. And so if I put it a little bit higher, then you can see it there. That's why, Renee. So, but don't worry, don't worry. We have space in here to decorate this. So, there's not a problem. We'll put our dolphin right there, having a good time. We have still a couple of these that I'm going to bring down here on the bottom of the sea. So we're creating that sea idea, right? all the way, and I'm going to bring another one, maybe right next to it, just like that. And I cut a lot of pieces. If you know me, guys, I always cut a lot of pieces, right? It is one of the things I love about these, because then I can just like not be concerned about what's happening. And so I'm bringing this one here. And we still have some other pieces that we can add. And so I'm going to bring some of these coral, and I don't know what these are, guys. I'm so very sorry, name wise, but you can bring. So we have all these little fish that we can put. I am actually going to put this little fish in here, because is that the right place? Yeah, I think, because that way this will look cool. Okay, a little higher, obviously. Let me see, right there, maybe. There it goes. So they're very noticeable. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm so glad you like it. I am so sorry it's taking so long, though. Um, I think I may have these wrong, but it's cool. It's okay. Fish can fly everywhere. Fly. There we go. And I'm going to bring another one of these up here. It's just very colorful. And so, okay, let me put this one in here. So Renee is asking, I mean on the top, so I don't have the other dolphin now, but you mean not in the circle? So I'm not getting. So I guess what you are saying, and that is a good point. Maybe I don't know if this is what we're asking. So instead of instead of gluing the circle, just have the acetate. Is that what you guys are saying? And that is probably a really good idea. I did not think of that. But that sounds amazing, amazing. If that is what you're saying, I love the idea. Maybe I could think, the next time I will do that. And again, I'm just bringing some of those pieces, and I think we're really, really done. I don't think this needs anything else. Uh-oh. Okay, there. I was scared there for a minute. There we go. That circle moved. Okay. Phew. Okay, guys, I'm like dying of heat here. But this is how it goes. I think these fish are actually backwards, guys. Right? Yep. Oh well. I am so glad you like them, guys. This is so. It's a really cute idea. It's really, really cool. But again, these set. Woo! You guys, you need it. I'm just going to, since there's no mark in there, I'm just going to put this one in here, guys. It doesn't matter. There it goes. So we have our whole. Annette, the set is called Friendly Fins. And so the stamp set is not to, let me find the words. It's not too like impressive, but the dies are to die for. Oh, thank you. Because you would see it up here. So, okay, this moved a tiny bit. My circle moved, guys, and I don't know why it moved. Probably because I should have used the other. Okay, let me see. This is loose, which shouldn't have happened. Okay. I think that's good. There it is. Yeah, it just moved. I don't know why it moved. The glue. So this is why. If whatever you put on the this bigger circle, Renee, you will see in here. So it will look weird. So let me bring one of these. Let me bring this one that is bigger. So if you like put this in here, then you're going to see just half the fish there. And so a bigger, like it could work well with these smaller fish, but with a bigger image, then it would not look well, because it just looks cut, right? And so that's why. Now I think I finally understand your question, and I'm sorry, I was kind of flustered here. Okay, guys, I don't know why this moved. I think my glue, I did not leave time for it to glue well, and so it moved a tiny bit, but all in all, it's working. Isn't it super cute? Oh, I forgot a sentiment. Okay, I'm going to move on, guys, because we've been here for almost 2 hours. So I'm going to move on to show you the other two cards super quick. The sentiment, guys, I was planning to put it right here and just the one that says, my friend. And so right here, very, very simple. Very similar to this one. So this was the first one I made. And it's what I was telling you about the card, the DSP. And so this is an older set, and all I did was make this. Now look how much better this is centered. So the rush of doing this in the live always makes me, I make mistakes, um, but it works well. That's what I showed you earlier for to making the other circle. So it works really well. This is just super cute card for Christmas, because we all know I love Christmas. And then this is the one that actually has it, the 4.5 by the 4.25 by 5.5. Sorry guys, let me move a tiny bit there. And so I am using Fluffiest Friends. You guys know I love that set. And the Be Mind Suite, I think is what it was called. And so here's, I don't know, let me open this. So this works really cute, really well, very simple. But when you close it, when you close it, see, like it pops up, and I don't know why it pops up. I don't know if it pops up because it needs to be a little smaller, and I didn't adjust it. But since I didn't do any other of these cards, I'm not sure if what the mistake in the small one is. And I did decorate the back for this one. So the next step in here, and I'm sorry guys, I know it's super, super late. The next step in here is definitely putting a sentiment in here, and then just put a white card base in here. I'm so stressed out. There it goes. Like it goes inside, but it just stays there a tiny bit. And I think it's the glue. I didn't wait enough time. See how it moved? I didn't wait enough time for these to glue. And so it moves a little bit. There it is. Can you see how it moves? And it's this piece, the one that's moving. So if you're going to use glue, guys, wait till it's dry. Not that we don't know that, but wait till it's dry, because it definitely is the glue. I can see. Can you see how it's undone there a tiny bit? But you just push it back. Push it back. Okay, guys. Oh, and I forgot these. Oh, craps. I'm just going to put one so you guys get the idea. But, like, see? Like, if I put that one there. I know those are like little details, but see how cool it looks? And so you can put a few all around. And this is just acetate. And then you'll have, your little bubbles. So that way you have that idea. I'm so sorry. I got really excited with this card, obviously. But all in all, the main part of the card, which is the mechanism, you got. And the decorations, then you can play with later. Anyways, you're probably going to make your own awesome decorations and fun cards. Phew. Guys, I am so very sorry. It's never been this late. I was too slow at the beginning. I was not feeling super well. As you guys can tell, I stopped coughing, so that's a good start. And but I am so sorry it took so long. Sorry. Okay, guys, let me come back up here and say goodbye to you all. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening and a rest of your week. And, hopefully I'll see you on Friday for a paper pumpkin kit alternative. And again, I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. I'm not even going to say a whole lot more because it's late already. It's like, so thank you for being here. If you like the video and you would like to subscribe and like the video, please do that. It helps me a whole lot in here. Luis, you know what? I think I would use. Luis is asking what type of adhesive. Um, I think I would use the. Oops, you're not seeing. Sorry. These are the glue dots. I think I would use glue dots because they are more or less the same size, and so it will not be like you would not be able to even see them. Let me put one and I'll show you. Thank you guys. I'm so sorry. I know it was. I really got overexcited here um, with this card, but I'm gonna show you see if that works. But see, because it's the same size almost. Let me see. You see, it. Whoops, it's super hard. Other side, Maria. You can barely see the glue dot, so the glue dot is a good idea. Um, that's what I would do. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, everybody. Sending lots and lots of hugs and blessings, and may the Lord bless you all. And I'll see you Friday. Bye.